Hey guys, Lady Lee here from Lady Lee's Home. In this video, I want to share with you a recipe for shakshuka. I am originally from Israel and we eat this dish a lot over in the Middle East. It is a delicious egg dish, basically eggs cooked in tomato sauce, and it is very popular dish for us homesteaders. It is one of the most amazing dishes for the growing season, because everything that you see me using in this recipe is available on the homestead in the summer during the growing season. If it's tomatoes, peppers, onions, garlic, eggs are plenty, and you always look for something different to do with them. So this dish is really amazing and pretty simple to put together. So let's get started here. I started with dicing one medium onion and then dicing some garlic cloves. I will put all the measurements in the exact recipe. I'll link to it below. It is a post that is on the blog for a little while now, and there's the whole step-by-step picture tutorial there and printable recipe at the bottom of the post, so you can print it out. Okay, so we're dicing onions and then garlic and then peppers, and I love using peppers that are, sometimes you grow peppers in the garden and they have a little bit of a rot at the bottom or something like that. Like the reason that you see me cutting the peppers here and there a little bit is because I use all the peppers that are not good enough for me to sell at the market. So that's a really great dish for me to use these peppers in. You do whatever peppers you like. If you want spicy peppers, you can add some jalapenos or cayennes here if you want to make this dish spicy. I'm using here really whatever I have from the garden, so poblanos and some lunchbox peppers, which are sweet, and then I had, I think, one pimento pepper over there. It really doesn't matter, whatever sort of peppers you like. Just cut the stem off and cut them in half, remove the seeds, and dice them. If you do want your dish spicy and you're using spicy peppers, then just know that a lot of the heat is in the seeds, so you can leave some of them. Next, tomatoes. Fresh tomatoes from the garden, of course, are best, and it is really a great dish to make during the growing season. But of course, you can get all of those things at the grocery store and put it together any time of the year. Tomatoes, doesn't really matter what kind of tomatoes, and doesn't really matter how you are dicing them, because they're all going to fall apart anyway. So doesn't have to be small pieces, just whatever, just dice them. I don't peel my tomatoes. Some people do. If you want to peel your tomatoes, you're gonna have to boil them a little bit and then peel the skin. But really, for me, the texture of the skin doesn't matter, doesn't bother me, so I just leave it on. Once all the vegetables are diced, we are going to heat a pan on the stovetop. I love using the cast iron pan for that. I don't know, there's just something about cooking tomatoes in a cast iron pan. Anyway, we're gonna add a good amount of good olive oil. The olive oil really adds some taste here, and give the oil a few minutes to heat up. Meanwhile, kind of gather your spices. We're gonna do cumin and black pepper and paprika and salt, and then a little bit of sugar to break the acidity of the tomatoes. Once the oil is hot, add the onions and just stir them around. We want to give them a few minutes, probably 10, 12, 13 minutes, to brown just a little bit. Remember to adjust the heat so the onions don't burn, and also make sure to stir them frequently, pretty much constantly, so they don't burn. Once they're a little browned, we're gonna add the garlic, and this is gonna be quick, so just a couple of minutes of cooking the garlic with the onions. You'll notice that it starts being really fragrant and it's already smelling delicious. Next, we're adding the peppers and giving them a few minutes here to soften a little bit. Again, stir frequently and just let them cook for a little bit with the onion and the garlic. Now let's add the tomatoes and mix this all together. And now we're just cooking this sauce until it reduces enough. Now, cooking time is going to depend on how juicy your tomatoes are. At this point, I'm at about I think medium heat or so. So it depends on how juicy your tomatoes are. If you want this dish to cook a little faster, it's probably better using tomatoes that are like Amish paste tomatoes or like a paste tomato. So they're a little bit less juicy than the regular slicing tomatoes. I usually use whatever tomatoes I have, but do take into consideration that if there's a lot of liquid content in your tomatoes, that this might take a little bit longer to cook. Once the tomatoes softened a little bit, it's time to add the seasonings. And again, we're doing salt and black pepper and paprika, which you can replace with cayenne powder or chili powder, or add cayenne and chili or chili if you want to make it spicy. Cumin adds a lot of taste here, so don't skip the cumin. And then we add just a little bit of sugar to break the acidity of the tomatoes. Mix all of this together, and now we just cook. You can cover the pot just a little bit, like half cover it or something like that, and just let it cook until the juices are reduced to your desired consistency. In this, during this process, if you want to, you can use potato masher to mush the tomatoes. I, of course, like, and it's like the traditional way is leaving it as pieces and not like using an immersion blender and making it into like a whole actual blended sauce or something like that. You can do that too, but traditionally we leave the tomatoes in pieces. We just want to mush them a little bit, so we do have sauce here that we can then eat with bread. So this might take 30 minutes, might take 40 minutes, again depending on how juicy your tomatoes are and how runny you want the sauce. So really you can do it however you prefer. Once the sauce reaches your desired consistency, we're just going to break some eggs into the sauce. And these eggs are kind of going to be kind of like poached eggs, at the end. So really you just break the egg right into the sauce. Kind of move it around a little bit so the sauce is kind of all around the egg. And then I personally like to cover the pan because I like my eggs to be more on the done side. If you like them more runny, you can leave the pot uncovered, but I kind of like them a little bit more done, so I cover the pot to trap the heat in there. And you can see how they cook. They're still going to be soft on the inside, so it's not like a hard-boiled egg or something, but that's the way I like to do it. Some people like to leave them almost completely runny. You just keep on cooking until, again, the eggs are cooked to your liking, and then turn the heat off and enjoy. This dish requires a really good bread. So the bread that I use here it's still sourdough, but it's not homemade, and I really wanted to do this video. I had everything on hand and I really wanted to make this dish for us, but I didn't have a great bread. There is a recipe for a no-knead bread, or take a recipe for a homemade sourdough or something, and take a moment to make bread because it's so worth it. In the Middle East, how we eat it is basically just dip the bread in the sauce, put the egg on top there, and that's a whole breakfast. It's healthy, it's filling, it's delicious. And again, for us homesteaders, it is such a great dish to make during the growing season. That's it, you guys. I really hope that you'll give it a try. Let me know in the comments how you liked it. Again, the recipe and full step-by-step tutorial are on the blog. I'll link to it below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.